All right, we're going to talk about self-defense stuff right now, about how to protect yourself. I'm not going to do what a lot of these YouTubers do. Want to be GI Joes, want to be commandos. I was in the military. Uh, I also worked in prison. I also worked in law enforcement. So I've done different things, and I have a lot of education too. But what I would tell you is you do not there's not an amount of ammunition that would be enough in a real crisis. Bullets, you don't have you don't have a whole supply chain. You you could have 100,000 rounds, and things happen. You lose the ammo. You need more. It's 10 years. So what you need sustainability and something that's very effective, something that doesn't make a lot of noise, and and gets the job done, and is very versatile. So what I'm going to do is suggest a few things that a lot of people are going to poo-poo and go crazy about. And I'm going to explain why they work and why they're very effective, because you want to be quiet. So hold on, I got to get one thing. Hold on, be right back. Now, let's say, now, let's say you have people in front of your house, okay? If you pull out a rifle, somebody pull out a bigger rifle or a lot of rifles, or pull out a grenade, or pull out a bazooka, or pull out something simple like a firebomb and throw it in your house and burn you down inside, or set you on fire and you burn it and you burn alive. So, escalation is not always what you want to do. So, what you do is you get a fogger. This is a small one, but it's like short range, 20 feet bursts of what would similar to riot gas, except it's OC spray, and you make people not want to be there, and it will incapacitate somebody pretty good for 15 to 30 minutes. I've been sprayed a few times, and you can't see. If you get good stuff, you want to get something 18%. You got to do 10%. If it's a state legal, something that has mace in it, also instead of just the OC, and make sure it's strong stuff that you're using. You don't want to use the purse stuff or stuff that says law enforcement and it's not. You want something pretty potent. You want to make them suffer. So you want to get something. You want to get a fogger. That's something you should have. And you also can use that to make people not want to be around your house. And you can get small ones you can carry in most states. And some of the stuff, pepper spray stuff, is restricted in some states, but most states it's not. Now, the next thing, that you can think of, is a small folding knife. You want no more than 3 to 4 inches. I had to buy this when I was moving, so this isn't my preferred one and I'll show you a picture of one that is my preferred one, and I have one like that. But basically, everything I had was in shipping containers. I was staying at a temporary place, and I needed something for defense that was versatile in the meantime. So I bought this at the closest store. My car was being shipped, so I had to walk there. This is $13. It's a Gerber. I think it has a 3-inch blade, maybe 2.5. It's probably 3 inches. It looks 3 inches. But anyway, you don't like the serrated blade, but you do want this and this and this. You want to be pointy, and you want to file this down. I had to use sandstone before I got this. You want to get a big one, like I did. This was from the Dollar Tree. You can get these on Amazon and some other discount stores pretty cheap. They're expensive if you don't get them that way. And you want to get the tip sharpened and the edges, and you want to get it all razor sharp so it'll cut through like butter. And there are videos on how to use these. If you want to do martial arts, I recommend looking at knife fighting. I recommend you look at videos. There are ones on YouTube done by real Navy SEALs and real Krav Maga and Israeli Special Forces. Those are videos that I can tell you from firsthand experience. Some of these are really good. I might even put some in the description, and there are training manuals on how to do knife fighting in addition to the videos. But be careful, because these are real, and you can cut yourself, and it's very dangerous. So at your own risk, but be careful. But I wouldn't just fling the thing around randomly. I'd be careful, because you can hurt yourself or kill yourself or something, and it's not good for you. So, but that's what you want, something small. because you can hold it, and it's not easily seen. You can carry it around you. You can keep it in your house. You can put it at your bedside. You can even keep it in your robe pocket at night. So, and this is the bigger version. You don't carry this, but this is for home defense. This is a fish knife. A lot of people laugh. You can use this for hunting, and if the bones aren't very big. If you got big bones or something, deer, forget it. But something small, this will work. What you do is you take something like this. You got a really razor sharp tip and everything. You want it to be like a dagger, because this is like a dagger. And with a human target and not a big, thick, bony animal target, you're going to do pretty good. You're going to get it really good. It's like having a dagger on the end. This is like having a really nice, sharp razor blade, so you can slash and get in there and do big cuts and keep people away. And it's like Crocodile Dundee knife, because it's bigger, but it's more practical, because you get that big, thick, heavy blade on a bigger knife like that. You can't carry it around as much. Keep it around. It's just not a good situation. But this is a lot faster, a lot sharper, and a lot easier to wield in that type of a situation. And it's also going to be much more effective. Trust me. Now, the next thing on the list, and this is something that some people have thought of, some people think is a joke, but this is better than having, in some situations, this is going to be better than a gun. All right, a hunting slingshot, preferably metal, like this. This one was, I think, 10 or 13. I think it was like $13 or $14. It's metal, and you want to get replacement rubber bands because they wear out, and this will fling stuff pretty fast. And you want to get 50 caliber steel ball bearings. And they make them. You can get them on Amazon. And these you can sometimes too. And they're even better. And these are 40 caliber steel. 40. I think they're not 40 caliber. 20 millimeter or 25 millimeter ball bearing steel. And they're even more effective. But the bottom line is, I've cracked with these types of bearings just to see what they would do. I've been able to crack solder blocks, and if you can crack solder blocks, you can break bone. So one of the easiest bone to hit is the one right there. You hit somebody there, it breaks the bone, game over. It's even worse than being shot, and because of the fragmentation and how it works with that type of object and that size of the object, and it'll do a lot of damage. You hit somebody in the arm, hits the bone right, broken arm. Same thing with a kneecap. Even a gut shot or thing, it hurts, and it's going to cause some damage, maybe even serious damage, things that they'd have to go to the hospital for. It's probably not going to go through. But, the foot-pounds of pressure on it's pretty significant, and it's similar to some very low-threat firearms, even though it won't penetrate because of the type of projectile. But it'll do a lot of damage, because you get pretty good on that. You get a pretty good hit. It's not a joke. And you can reuse those if you can find them. You also can find other objects and things that are similar to that. Get a heavy marble or something. And to practice, you don't want to use those, because you're going to have to go to if you shoot that at a shed wall or something like that, it'll damage the wall. So you want to there's a company named T. Meyer, I think, for clowns. They make these things that you put in balloons. They're kind of like bouncy balls, or heavier, and you don't want to get near windows, obviously, because they can bounce on a window. But the weight is a little bit closer to that compared to some of your slingshot stuff. And you can get marbles not marbles, but other bouncy balls that are pretty close to some of the harder ones. This I got at the Restore for housewares. I think this was probably for a stairs, but this is pretty hard wood. So this is kind of like between a billy club and a baseball bat, and it's cheaper. I think I paid $1 for this. And if you hit somebody with that, bam, it's like being hit with a club. So that's a pretty, and these are things you can use over and over again. You're sustainable, and you're quiet. And with the slingshot, you can reload that thing pretty quick if you have the system going where you set up. You also get a crossbow pistol. Those are pretty powerful, some of them, but arrows are an issue. So if you have those, you're pretty set, pretty good for pretty much forever with the way you're set up. And This is not what I use, okay? But I have one. I'm not getting it because it's in another area in the house. But basically, you want a long wood mop, uh, 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 handle, or and you can get those at the Restore, really cheap, or you can even buy them at the store for a price. Or even on Amazon, you can get decent prices on. You want a strong wood one because you can use that to push poop away from you. You can put a spearhead on it. You know, a lot of things you can do with that. But the big thing is space. You want to keep distance between you and other people, especially in a situation where people might be rushing your house. And if you could give people a hard time, have that spray, have you've got tools that you can carry around with you, keep your pocket, you're working and you're doing pretty good. Uh, but the thing is, you want to be low profile. You don't want people to know you're there. You don't want people to know what you have. You don't want people to know how you're defending yourself. I've had a lot of weapons in my lifetime, a lot of guns, used a lot of guns, used guns some people never get to use, and I know how they work. But I'm telling you, you're going to run out of ammo. You're going to lose the ammo. The weapon can get taken away from you. It can escalate the situation in a way you don't want to escalate it because you drew attention to yourself. You can never win a war by yourself or even with a collective of people when there's a whole world out there, and you don't have an army of 50,000 people and warehouses of weapons. You're gonna get into it, and you're gonna bite off more than you chew pretty quickly. Now, I talked about a knife that was like I was thinking of, that I thought you should think of. This is kind of what I'm thinking, as far as what I see as an ideal knife. Um, it doesn't have to be expensive. You want it to be simple. You want it to be something you can sharpen, something sturdy, something low profile. This is a 3-inch blade. It's a 4-inch knife closed, and you can sharpen that razor tip. It has a nice spear type head to it, not total spear, but it's enough where it's legal pretty much everywhere, and it's not a gravity blade or assisted blade or anything else to get you in trouble. And it's small enough and it's inexpensive. You can get it really sharp, and it's just a really simple knife. These people make really decent knives at really good prices, but some of them are a little bit bizarre. So you got to really be wise and a little bit conservative, but not too conservative to pick the right knife. So that's kind of what you want to be on, and this is kind of where I'm at. So as far as your home, you want to get longer screws to put on the door so they're harder to kick in. Maybe put in low profile kick plates. Put harder locks on the doors. They're non-electronic, but more robust and have deadbolts. And you want a peephole, but one that can be closed up from the inside. So it has a little cover over the eye hole. You want those are the kinds of things you want to do. You might want to put stuff on the glass. There's stuff they make that'll make it strong where you can literally hit with a hammer and it won't break, it won't shatter. And that's kind of what you want to do. You don't want to. You want to be low profile, but you want to be reinforced where you can kind of hold out and people won't know that something's going on in your home. And that's kind of what's going on. So thank you very much for watching my video.